Let's break the silence, once and for all. You live in waiting. Waiting for Sunday to end. Waiting for the next one to arrive. Waiting for your duties to disappear, for the economy to improve, for your kids to grow, for someone to appreciate you, for a storm to pass. You're waiting for life to give you permission to begin living. But as you wait, life slips away. The problem isn't that you lack time. The problem is you're giving it away without even noticing. You trade it for routines that numb you, jobs that don't define you, commitments that suffocate you. They sold you a story. The good stuff comes later. Now is the time to sacrifice. Work now, live later. First the struggle, then the reward. But what if later never comes? There's something inside of you screaming. You don't say it out loud, but you feel it every single day. That sharp ache that something's missing. That quiet suspicion that you're wasting your life. For a promise no one can truly guarantee. A future that might never arrive. A fantasy you were told to believe in. And no, you're not alone. Most are trapped in the same illusion, following a script they never wrote. A recycled path: study, work, marry, buy, age, obey, stay silent, endure, retire. If anything's left of you, then live. But here's the truth. The future is not guaranteed. Living in delay is a slow form of dying. Psychology is clear on this. The human brain is wired for survival, not for joy. That's why it clings to safety, delays desire, and chooses predictability over your well-being. And while you drift in routine, your mind becomes a beautifully crafted cage. You're alive, but not awake. You move, but you're stuck. You breathe, but you forgot how to live. And the most haunting part, you've gotten used to it. You've mistaken resignation for peace. You've mistaken safety for meaning. You believed your time is worth less than your paycheck. You accepted that being responsible means giving up. And worst of all, you think it's too late to change. That's a lie. It's not too late. It's just terrifying. Because truly living requires demolishing the structures that hold you in place. To live means questioning the unquestionable. It means ignoring the clock society gave you and tuning into your own, your rhythm, your fire, your sky. But of course, that's not what they taught you. They told you adulthood meant sacrifice, that growing up meant endurance, that the right thing to do was to obey. Stay in line, lower your voice, forget your dreams. So here you are, fulfilling every expectation, except your own. How long will that last? Here comes the question no one dares to ask. What if retirement never comes? What if by the time you have the time, your health is gone? What if, when freedom finally knocks, you don't even recognize yourself anymore? We live postponing joy, postponing breath, love, adventure, article mystery. As if life came with a practice mode and a final stage. As if there was a second round. As if now didn't count. But now is the only thing that's real. The future is a theory. The past is smoke. What's left is this exact moment. Listen carefully. No one's coming to give you permission to live. No one's going to tap your shoulder and say, this is it. This is the perfect time. Because that moment doesn't exist. Life has no pause, no warning signs, no safety net. It only has moments, and you're letting them evaporate. How many talents died of fear? How many books were never written, songs never played, stories never told, desires never followed? How much truth buried under routines, under duty, under later? And yet, time doesn't care. Time doesn't wait. Every second that leaves never returns. And the longer you wait, the further you drift, further from who you were meant to be. Because what you're chasing later, it's a trap, a mirage. It's not a plan. It's an excuse dressed up like one. You've got to rebel. Rebel against autopilot, against the hollow routine, against the idea that you need to earn happiness like it's some distant trophy. Happiness isn't given, it's built. Brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. And no, this isn't about escaping to some island. It's not about fantasy. It's about taking the wheel, choosing with intention, deciding who gets your hours, what gets your energy, what earns your yes, and what no longer deserves your presence. Maybe you can't quit your job today. Maybe you can't fly across oceans yet. But you can do one thing. Stop numbing yourself. Stop muting your voice. Stop ignoring that pulse inside you that keeps screaming for more. Start by creating space. By asking the questions, what do I want? What moved me before fear stepped in? What lit me up before the world told me to calm down? Reconnect with what makes you feel alive. Allow yourself to rest, to play, to laugh like it matters, to love without holding back. That too is rebellion. Because in a society addicted to burnout, joy is an act of resistance. Having a coffee without guilt is revolutionary. Saying no is sacred. Spending real time with your children, your friends, yourself. That's reclamation, reclaiming the time you gave away to urgency, obligation, and the illusion of being on track. Freedom doesn't start at 65. It starts the moment you decide you're done waiting. The moment you realize that now is all you've truly got. There's no guarantee you'll reach old age. You don't owe anyone your compliance. You can pause, breathe, turn around, begin again. And yes, they'll call you crazy, irresponsible, unrealistic. But they say it out of fear, out of regret, out of discomfort watching someone do what they never dared to. Don't listen to them. Listen to you. You have the right to live a life that feels like it's yours, the right to not wait, to make mistakes, to explore, to change direction. You have the right not to have it all figured out, the right not to follow a perfect plan, the right to improvise. Because at the end of the road, no one remembers how you paid your bills. No one gives standing ovations for the years you spent breaking yourself in the name of stability. What remains, the only thing that ever remains, are the moments you were fully, fiercely yourself. If you're going to fail, let it be for being real, not for obeying fear. Look around. Most people are only alive biologically. They breathe, walk, produce. But they don't feel. They don't listen inward. They don't ask themselves the hard questions. They just repeat what was handed to them. You can't afford that. Not you. If you're hearing this, it's because something inside you already suspects more. A whisper, a tension, an ache that refuses to go away. A misfit feeling that doesn't settle. That ache is not a flaw. It's the signal. That discomfort is transformation's invitation. That inner unrest is truth knocking at your door. Don't keep postponing it. Don't keep saying, when I have time. Time isn't had. It's taken. It's spent. Every second that passes is a decision you made. Joy isn't a destination. It's the way you walk. And the time to walk that way is now. There's a quieter tragedy than postponing joy, turning your identity into a role. Yes, a role. Not a person, not a soul with a pulse. Just a character you play, day after day, because you think it's what you're supposed to be. The responsible worker, the model son, the sacrificed father, the stable partner, the reliable friend, the citizen who never questions. You become a checklist of titles. And somewhere in that routine, your wildness, your actual self, starts to fade. And the system? It loves that. It praises your silence. It claps for your compliance. It rewards you for never interrupting the cycle, for staying small, for keeping things comfortable, for never shaking the machine. And you do it. You conform. You play the role. You do it because you want to belong, because for years they told you this is what maturity looks like. But maturity doesn't mean silencing yourself. It doesn't mean putting your soul on hold while keeping the character intact. How many times have you said, "I'm fine," while everything inside you was screaming otherwise? How often have you smiled out of duty, not joy? How many moments have you convinced yourself not to feel disappointed, as if you weren't allowed? You get used to it. To life being a performance. To thinking the most important thing is making sure no one notices how exhausted, how lost, how numb you've become. But living in character mode costs too much. You lose spontaneity, you lose curiosity, you lose the ability to genuinely connect. And one day, you look in the mirror and realize you no longer know who you are when no one's watching. That's the cost of postponing your freedom. You don't just lose time, you lose identity. And here's the most brutal part of it all. We do this thinking we're protecting others, that if we shrink a little, stay quiet, adapt just enough, then things will be okay. But it's a lie. When you are not okay, nothing around you is truly okay either. I'm not saying this out of ego. I'm saying it as emotional truth. When you live in denial, everything you touch becomes contaminated. Your partner feels it, your kids absorb it, your friends sense it, and your body screams it. Stress, anxiety, insomnia, chronic fatigue. These aren't malfunctions. They're messages, alarms, signals you keep muting. You numb them with pills, with distractions, with busyness, all just to avoid staring directly into the void, that version of life that looks nothing like what you once dreamed when dreaming still felt possible. And if this makes you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is sacred. It's the spark before the fire. You have to stop living on autopilot. You have to stop justifying every decision by saying you're avoiding chaos. Because here's the truth no one told you. The chaos is already here. It's in the routine that dulls you, in the calendar that has no room for you, in the weekends that exist only to recover from the burnout you never consented to. This isn't about destroying your life. It's not about escaping to a cabin in the woods. It's about making conscious pauses. Pauses where you finally ask, what am I doing? Who am I doing it for? And what part of me is being buried to keep this performance alive? It's about reclaiming the inner voice you silenced for far too long. It's about daring to ask yourself, without apology, who would I be if I didn't owe anyone an explanation? And no, this isn't selfishness, it's honesty. Because if you don't choose yourself, no one will do it for you. You have the right to redirect your course, to pivot midway, to say, this no longer fits me, and you don't need drama to justify it. Your truth is enough. We were raised to obey structures, not to listen inward, and that's why it hurts so deeply when you realize you've spent your life pleasing everyone, except yourself. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you feel it, there's no going back. Your life is one and only. No beta version, no backup copy. And every day you let slip away doesn't freeze in time. It doesn't wait. It doesn't come back. So if you're going to pour your energy into something, let it be something that reflects you. If you're going to give your time to people, Let it be to those who nourish your soul. And if you're going to sacrifice, let it be for something that makes sense to you, not just to others. Here's a truth no one wants to face. A life lived entirely to meet other people's expectations is a half-life. And living half alive, inch by inch, begins to feel like dying awake. And the greatest danger, you get used to it. You normalize the numbness. You accept that this is just how life is. You anesthetize your spirit so deeply that it stops hurting not to live. And that's what you cannot allow. You are not here to survive from Sunday to Friday. You are not here to hit productivity quotas. You are not here to exist without a soul. You're here to experience, to feel, to make mistakes and begin again. To rediscover what moves you, not what controls you. To build a life that makes sense to you, not just to follow instructions. So let me say this clearly. You don't owe the world a safe life. You owe yourself one that's yours, one that belongs to you, and no one, not a single soul, will build it in your place. Build it now. Without permission, without certainty, without guarantees. Build it because if you don't, no one will. Build it because the alternative is standing outside of your own story, watching it unfold without you. And you weren't born for that. You were born to take the lead role. End the postponement. Today, the rest begins. And now that you've come this far, I want you to pause. Don't type. Don't scroll. Don't escape this moment. Breathe. Just listen to this, because it might change everything. When was the last time you did something for yourself? Not because it was productive, not because it was useful, not because someone else approved, but simply because it made you feel alive. Most people can't answer that without feeling a knot in their chest. And do you know why? Because we were taught to chase success, not peace. To compete, not feel. To stack goals, not create meaning. To perform life, not live it. And here lies the final paradox. You don't have to change your entire life to start living it. You don't have to quit your job, sell your things, run off into the wild. This isn't about escape. This is about choosing differently. It's about asking yourself, each day, in every gesture, does this bring me closer or further from who I really am? Sometimes it's just a no. Sometimes it's walking without your phone. Sometimes it's a conversation without a mask. Sometimes it's writing down your feelings without editing them. You don't need an external revolution. The revolution that matters always starts within. Because in the end, what will you carry with you? Your resume? Your perfectly paid bills? Your color-coded calendar? Number, you will carry what you felt. The seconds that became eternal. The people who touched your soul. The times you were fully, unapologetically yourself. And that choice is yours. So here's a proposal. Let today be the first day of the rest of your life. Seriously. Stop looking at the calendar waiting for after everything settles. Because it won't. Life already started, and the only thing that's been missing is you. And if you made it this far, I have a very different kind of invitation. I'm not asking you to subscribe just because. I'm asking you to subscribe if today something moved inside you. If this message felt like it was speaking to you, then hit subscribe, because this channel isn't built for entertainment. It's built to wake you up. And if you want to leave a silent mark, comment below. I'm done waiting. No context, no explanation, just that. Because those who know will understand, and those who don't will start to wonder. And now, finally, breathe. Let yourself feel. Let yourself move. Do one thing differently today, even if it's small. And remember this: time is not waiting for you. Life is not waiting for you. You're the only one still holding pause. But today could be the day everything shifts. The world doesn't need a more efficient version of you. It needs a more alive one, more free, more true. Maybe I'll see you in the next video, or maybe not. Maybe we'll cross paths in the real world, in a moment where no one's pretending, where no one's performing, where we simply exist. Until then, don't go looking for the perfect future. Sometimes your real life is hiding in the exact place you've been avoiding. Deactivate wait mode. See you in the now.